Hey there, folks. My name is Shook, and welcome to my playthrough of Remember11, The Age of Infinity. Gotta figure out the title of it. Need to. The daytime. How? Nah. No need to look at the. Remember11, The Age of Infinity. Gotta figure out the title of it. Need to. The daytime. Mute and stop the stream. A professional beginning. Especially that my microphone just fell out my drawers. Oh yeah, I guess I did move it. Oh, actually, I think my webcam. I think that's what happened. I think my webcam wire hit my microphone wire. So that's yeah. Hey, what's up, Andy? Yeah, I'm starting this visual novel. Now, also, I'm not actually going to have my face up on the screen. So it'll be distracting me, but hopefully I don't do anything embarrassing. If you see my finger in my nose, I don't ever pick my nose. Nobody ever picks their nose, but kind of give me a subtle hint in the chat if you see me do anything that I don't ever do. You know, I don't ever pick my nose, but if I do, let me know. Hint, hint. So yeah. Let me. Tell me, does it need to be turned down any lower? The audio, the game audio. I turned it down a little bit. Uh, just a little bit ago, but it might still be a little too loud. And I'll go ahead and, Miss Dawson, you can, sounds about right. Hey, what's up, Allie? Gonna be playing something quite different. Visual novel. It's the third game in the Infinity series. I've played the first two on my YouTube channel. This one's going to be completely streamed, but I'm going to be uploading it onto YouTube later. Text speed. Yeah, is that about right? Second from the left. Oh. Oh wait, that ain't it. Like that right there? Or you mean second from the left like that? Right there. And I am going to adjust that down just a smidgen. Just a smidgen. I'm actually not absolutely sure what this game is about. The first two games, yes, that's better. Let's go in. Text speed, okay. The first two games have to do with first two games had to do with time travel and alternate reality type stuff. Yeah, it would be quite spoiling. Yeah, the first two had to do with time travel / alternate reality type stuff. They really slowly build up how oh, got hit enter. Yeah, very slowly, you know, build up kind of the mystery about what's happening. You learn about the characters, and that sort of thing. So, didn't actually save it, did it? Great, I'm already failing at the menu screen. I'm sure this game's gonna go brilliantly. Shook fails at menu screens. What a brilliant beginning. All right, yeah, let's just go ahead and dive in. Now this is pretty much gonna be reading, so there will be some visual cues, but yeah, I see you there. I can see all the chat. I think. Who's calling? Oh, don't care about them. It's weird. Yeah, see the says we'll find out the premise very quickly. Did something miss? Because I have seen it. If I move out of the, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, I've noticed in some other streams that I've watched that sometimes it does skip. You know, sometimes not everything that shows up in the chat actually shows up on the on the screen. So I don't know if that's a Twitch problem or what. I like how I'm motioning over here like there's chat here. I think I'm thinking Minecraft whenever, because it has the built-in streaming type stuff. All right. Somebody's a seagull.
これは世界初の女性宇宙飛行士ワレンチナ・テレシコワの言葉だ。旧ソ連の宇宙船ボストーク6号に乗り込んだ彼女は一人完全な静寂と虚無に支配された宇宙空間を漂いながら、その心もとない孤独感と同時に全ての束縛から逃れたことによる解放感を一羽のカモメになぞらえて地球の管制官に送ったのだった。私はカモメ。素敵な表現だと思う。私にはそんな気の利いた言い回しは思い浮かばない。少々の皮肉を込めて言い表すとするなら、さしずめ私はカゴメとでも言ったところだろうか。狭いカゴの中に閉じ込められた一人の女の子。私は今天国に一番近い場所にいる。
Yeah, I would also feel very similar, only if I was actually in space, I'd probably do something to make the thing blow up. I probably would be closer to heaven than anywhere. Is this showing up for the, is this cutscene type thing showing up for the thing? It's not having any problems like Never 7 did, right? Just making sure. I'm sure it's fine.
カゴメカゴメカゴの中の鳥はいついつでやる、
Okay, cool.
夜明けの晩に鶴と亀が滑った、後ろの正面誰。
Who's that behind you? Huh. Interesting game. And I noticed the date was January the 11th, so that actually wasn't a big factor in Never 7. They never did use the number 7 a lot, but in Ever 17 they used the number 17 a whole lot. So I wonder if this one will be, if they'll try to use 11 a lot. That's January, first month of the year. Suddenly the world around me disappears. Someone from the seat behind me has covered both my eyes with their hands. I think I see the parallel of the Kagome thing there.
後ろの正面誰、後ろの正面誰。
Well, they're not wasting any time giving you a choice. Ooh, I wonder.
誰かな。誰でしょう。誰だろう。誰だと思う？
Is it two different people? No one's traveling with me on this flight. I've boarded this plane by myself. I don't have the slightest idea. Judging by the voice, which was still undergoing changes of puberty, it can only be the boy sitting in the seat behind me. The palms that cover my eyes were pretty small.
ダメだ。降参降参。
I raised both of my arms and spun around my wrist
本当に
playfully.
降参？うん。しょうがない。じゃあ教えてあげよう。
Or is that the main character's voice? Not used to the main character having a voice.
正解は楠田ユニくんでした。
Okay. Turning around, I found, as I had expected, a boy who looked to be about elementary school age. He was leaning over the headrest with an innocent smile. Yeah. I did. Yeah, I should have known that name, or should have known that with it. I've heard it used like heart. Okay, so the protagonist does have a voice. That's a new thing. I guess I'll be reading less, which may not be a bad thing. Kusuda Unikun is what he said. I didn't remember hearing that name anywhere, nor having ever seen his
そっ
face.
か。ユニくんって言うんだ。かわいい名前だね。ありがとう。友達にはユニシロとかユニットバスとかって言われてよくからかわれるけどね。
His shyly smiling face was friendly and charming. You say unit bath? Bath unit?
ねえお姉ちゃん、隣行ってもいい？空いてるんでしょ？
Took a glance at my wristwatch. There was still a lot of time before we would reach our destination. Had a seat by the window. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've watched a good bit of anime, so I'm pretty used to the family name being first. Don't remember if that was the case. I know that wasn't the case in Ever 17. I can't remember if that was the case in Never 7. Bad thing is, if I don't actually think about it while I'm looking at it, I won't remember it later. Did they do it that way in Never 7, or did they do it the main name then family name? The boy who had introduced himself as Uni pounced into the seat beside me as suddenly as in a game of musical chairs where the music had stopped.
ねえ、一つ気になったことがあるんだけど、聞いてもいいかな？何？ユニくん、さっきかごめ歌の中で夜明けの晩にって歌ってたでしょ？
Oops. That's kind of... Okay, they did westernize it. Okay, this is the tips thing that you told me about, right? Did I just click on it?
私の記憶が正しければ、
Oops.
確かそこの歌詞は月夜の晩にだ
Okay,
ったと思
clicking
う。
on it didn't do it. Oh, good grief. I wish moving the thing off the screen didn't cause that to happen.
月夜の晩？そう。だって夜明けの晩じゃ意味が通らないじゃない？明け方なのか夕方なのか、太陽は東にあるのか西にあるのか。お姉ちゃんが子供の頃はそうやって歌ってたの
？Okay, you have to go through the menus to find the tips. Okay. I totally didn't see that as a child. I did educational. I only played educational games as a child. I was very sad and depressed. Actually, I think that is what I'll say. No, I'll say that. I gave a confident nod.
夜明けの晩で合ってると思うよ。
And he said so while picking at the chip nail of one of his
だって
fingers.
すぐ後の歌詞には鶴と亀、後ろの正面っていうのがあるじゃん。
And I'm in front of your back. Yeah, it's totally not confusing at
夜
all.
明けと晩、鶴と亀、後ろと正面、どれも2つで一対になるものを表している。光と影、陰と陽、オスとメス、虚数と実数。この世界は二律背反する2つの要素がうまく重なり合って共存してるんだ。かごめ歌の主題はまさにこれだから、月夜の晩よりも夜明けの晩の方がふさわしいんだよ。なるほどね。
I groaned without
とはい
noticing.
え、今僕の言った解釈が必ずしも正解とは言えない。あの歌にはまだまだいっぱい謎が残されてるからね。謎？謎って？そうだな。
I'm assuming that this song is going to be important to the, or that whole concept of that game is going to be important to the story. Kind of hitting it already.
例えば、そもそもカゴメとは何を意味しているのか、カゴの中の鳥が象徴するものとは一体何なのか、どうして鶴と亀は滑ってしまったのか、滑らなければならなかったのか、それから後ろの正面だれ。
As he hummed that phrase, Genie took off his glasses, covered his eyes with his own hands, and turned
僕は
around.
今何も見えない。人間が五感によって外部から入手できる情報のうちおよそ8割は視覚に依存していると言われているよね。つまり今の僕は身の回りで起きているさまざまな現象のうちの2割しか認識できないってこと。残りの8割は曖昧で完全としなくて、お姉ちゃんが僕の後ろで何をしているのか、どんな表情をしているのかもわからない。お姉ちゃんの存在は今僕にとっては不確定要素のうちの一つなんだ。後ろの正面は振り返って目を開くまで決まらない。
Just as Genie was unable to see my face, I was unable to see what kind of expression he had on his. I was only able to see his back, a small back.
君いくつなの？
After Swap paused, I asked him that. He's 11. What a strange age, you know, totally not related at all to the title. Uni turned around with his eyes still covered, and he peered at me through his
よかった。
fingers.
そこにいてくれて。
His cheeks lifted into a broad smile as he laughed. She could have ran away. I'm saying she, but I'm assuming it's, I don't know. It might be a he, I'm not sure. Both voices are pretty high pitched. He might be about his age. Kokoro might be about his age, so yeah, I think I've got the names right here. The smile was certainly that of an 11-year-old. Straining my ears, I could still hear the sound of the wind. Outside, the snow was still blowing violently about. I held my breath as I stood in front of an iron door. Okay, that must be. I must have took that information, just didn't remember I had it. Oh yeah, Oni-chan means sister, or Oni-chan. Okay, I can't remember how you pronounce them. Beside the door, a small red light was blinking in the darkness. Pay attention to that. You mean kind of that was slanted or something? I did notice that. I didn't point it out, but I did notice it was kind of slanted. Beside the door, a small red light was blinking in the darkness. The card reader that controlled the lock on the door. The treacherous red light gave away its location. Yeah, okay, cool. Assuming you're talking about the same thing. Yeah, it is slanted. So that's purposely. Interesting. I don't know why that would be done purposely, but I guess that's part of the fun of these games is to find out why stuff is. I put my hand in my pocket and pulled out a single key card. Satoru Yukido. I traced the engraved letters with my fingertip.
Yukido Sato.
The Japanese makes a distinction according to the pronoun used. That is my name. I haven't ever really liked my name that much. So, is this going the Ever 17 route with there being multiple protagonists? I like that, to be honest. While I did like, oh good grief, Makoto, as a single protagonist in Ever 7, thought it was really interesting how they did that whole thing with in Ever 17. I twirled the card in my fingers and spun it around. Insert it into the reader slot and let it slide through. What's up, bug hugger? Yeah, this is a bit of a different game than what I've been doing. Visual novel, heavy on the story and reading. But if it entertains you, hopefully you'll enjoy. The light on the card reader turned green. The lock opened, and the door opened just the slightest crack. I pushed it open and stepped into darkness as if drawn by something. That's what he said right after I had introduced myself. I told him my name, Fuyukawa Kokoro, and then had a little chat with him about the place of our destination. However, that is interesting. Satoru has a different, that I is different in Satoru than Kokoro. I hadn't given him any hints or clues that would help him guess my age like that.
どうしてわかったの？すごい?
Uni threw his head back onto the seat and made a sound with his nose.
とぼけてないで教えてよ。そうだな。教えてあげてもいいけど、その代わり一つだけ頼みたいことがあるんだ。頼みたいこと？僕ギュンっていうのが苦手なの。
Zoom?
ギュンってするときあるでしょ。は？ああ、わかんないかな。着陸の時とかに急激に高度が下がってギュンって重力がなくなる時あるじゃん。それで？だからね、この飛行機が着陸態勢に入ったら。
Look at me with upturned eyes. Uni continues. Thank you very much, bug hugger. Unconsciously, I burst out laughing. However, the expression on Uni's face was so serious that making fun of him just didn't seem right. Even though his words at times showed wisdom beyond his years, Sadie was still just a child.
そのぐらいならいくらでも。本当に？とはいえ、私の体に触れることができる男の子なんてめったにいないんだからね。ありがたく思いなさいよ。
Gave his head a little poke and he blushed as he jumped into my arms. I thought he was asking to hold her hand, not to literally be held by her, okay? Oh well.
正解は？年齢が分かった理由教えてくれるんでしょ？
When you said that, you need. Thank you. At Twitch, we understand. I don't want to take a survey, but thank you anyway, Twitch. Okay, I do it. Okay, yeah. When he said that, you need to let go of my sleeve and stretched his arm behind my head.
これだよこれ。これが心の髪の毛についてたから。
In his hand was a fluttering object which he presented to me. The object you knew was holding between his fingers was a small white feather as light and soft as down. The finger? I mean the feather told him the age. Okay, I'm assuming there's more to it than that. That's okay. Our section small. Spiraling stairs continued higher and higher up. Felt as if I was walking up the scales of a giant constrictor snake. Yeah, it is definitely. The eye is definitely different when you're in Satoru's perspective. Cool. A constrictor snake which had wrapped itself around a huge column as it desperately tried to strangle it. Its iron scales made sharp, cold sounds as my feet continued on their journey. David played with his hand as at other times. Here, I guess. Okay, I can do it from this menu. Just curious to see how many there are. Sorry, I gotta know it. Good bit. I guess it's the completionist in me who wants to know how many there actually are. Well, it scrolls really fast up. Even though the term is now used to mean night in general, originally it was used to describe the period of time between twilight and sunset. In other words, the time when night begins. Symbol for radius and ratio presents an extension, the 18th letter of the alphabet, symbol for right, and also the R from the title of this game, Remember11. The letter R is full of significant meanings. Hopefully not the age restriction of this game, because I don't want my counts kicked out. But it says something about our section. What did that mean? That doesn't explain the. Give me just a second. Okay. I'm good. Didn't explain anything about what the what our section meant though.
サウルは槍を投げつけて、私はダビデを壁にでも。
Oh, you had no clue either. That's what I actually wanted to read the tips thing for, to see what he meant by that. I didn't think the words coming out of my mouth as my own, as if some spirit was whispering them into my ear. The entrance I was looking for was near. Thankfully, this constrictor I was making my way up didn't have a head. Yeah, I knew that. Perhaps before it could finally strangle its prey, its head was cut off. The cogwheels of the clock tower made an eerie noise. Yeah, I was wondering that, based on those quotes, this guy doesn't seem like he's... Man, my nose is itching, as always. Whenever I'm on camera, I can't actually solve the solution for my nose when I'm on camera. Makes me wonder if this guy is a good guy or bad guy. He might still be a protagonist, but yeah, such quotes make me wonder if he's the best of people, I guess I could say. Said as if a spell was being cast, one to take control over time for all eternity.
羽？そう、羽。これが私の髪の毛に？うん、後ろのところにね。
Had no idea why a feather would be there.
ココロン、昨日お風呂入らなかったでしょ。失礼ね、ちゃんと入ったわよ。嘘だ。どうしてそんなことで嘘つかなきゃならないの？だってココロンのまぶたちょっと腫れてるから。寝不足なんじゃないの？
So that Uni took out a mirror from his pocket and placed it right in front of my face. Just as Uni had said, my eyelids showed a slight tinge of red. It's true that I didn't get much sleep last night. Last night I was in a rush to prepare for this trip, and before I could meet her, I wanted to fill my head with as much information as possible. Yeah, I know! It's amazing now that I think about it. When I finally got to bed, the sky was already growing light. Is this guy supposed to be like Sherlock Holmes? Being able to deduct all these things, just by looking at somebody?
確かにあんまり寝てないのは事実よ。だけどそれとこれとどういう関係があるの？羽と年齢の話は一体どうなっちゃったわけ？まあまあまあ、焦らない焦らない。ちゃんと順を追って説明していくからね。
He snapped the folding mirror shut and slipped it back into his pocket.
まず日付の確認からしておこう。今日は西暦何年の何月何日何曜日だっけ？2011年1月11日火曜日。
January 11th of 2011. This is the past. This is the first time we're playing in the past in this series.
OK。じゃあ昨日は何の日だった？
This game was made in what year? 2008? So it'll actually be probably the most realistic of all of them. I bet they're not going to have any cell phones because that ruins every story so far. Yeah, we're trapped down here. Yeah, can you get us out? Cool, see you in an hour. Kind of was running the suspense of Ever 17. Oh, the game was made in 2004? Why was I thinking 2008? I don't know where I got that number from. Still, yeah, it is the most up-to-date one, I guess.
1月10日月曜日、成人の日。さてと、そこでこの羽の登場だ。
Uni said as the feather danced on the palm of his
女の
hand.
子が振り袖を着るとき、肩にかけるショール。その素材の中でも最もポピュラーなのがフェザー。ホワイトグースの羽なんだ。そしておそらくは僕の手のひらに乗っているこの羽も。あとは言わなくてもわかるよね。つまり私は昨日振り袖を着て成人式に出席したってこと？その時肩にかけてたショールの羽が取れて私の髪についた。成人式といえば小学校や中学校で机を並べた旧友たちが一堂に会すビッグイベントでしょ。初恋の男の子が見違えるほどブサイクになってたり、あんまりパッとしなかった女の子が妬ましいぐらいに綺麗になってたりして、ともかくそんな開口が次から次へと訪れることによって出席者の誰もが心を弾ませ身を躍らせることになる。同様に当時の心も激しい高揚感に包まれていたであろうことは想像に難くない。そんな浮ついた恍惚状態の最中、式を終えた心はかつてつるんでいた仲良しグループに誘われるがまま二次会へと赴いた。誰はばかることなく堂々とアルコールが飲める年齢ということもあったのだろう。二次会はやがて三次会となり、三次会は四次会へ、四次会は五次会へ。気がつけば東の空が明るくなっていた。
Okay, it really is audible. Yeah, the webcam's here and I had it right over here on vibrate, so Sorry about that. It's over there. It's work related, but they can wait a while.
結果ろくに眠ることもできず、まぶたは赤く腫れ上がり、シャワーを浴びる余裕もなく、ココロンは襟足に羽をつけたまま慌ててこの飛行機に飛び乗ったってわけ。どう？当たりでしょ。
Hearing all those statements in such quick succession left me feeling embarrassed long before I fully noticed it myself. Uni's eyes were sparkling and his cheeks were flushed red.
一枚の羽からよくそんな妄想が思いつくわね。妄想？これは妄想なんかじゃないよ。極めて論理的な推理さ。なるほど、自信満々だ。まあね。だけどその極めて論理的な推理ってやつは残念ながら大外れだよ。え？だって私2月生まれだもん。成人式は去年やっちゃったんだ。
As soon as I said those words, Uni's eyes opened wide, leaving two little dots where his cheerful saucer-like pupils had been before. His mouth was left half open in shock.
嘘！じゃあこの羽はなんで心の髪についてたの？さあね。さあねって。あ、でもここは雲の上だし、もしかしたら天使の羽かもね。天使。
Remembering that in wonder, Uni turned to look out the window. His flustered appearance resembled that of a live puppy that had just come face to face with a robot dog. It was all the cuter for it. Couldn't help but giggle quietly to myself. My laughs reached Uni's ears and his neck tensed up.
天使なんているわけないじゃん。そうかな。そうだよ。まあいずれにせよガチョウの羽だって解釈するよりはロマンティックでしょ。ココロンはロマンティックかどうかで事実を判断するの？時にはね。論理的な根拠なんてどうでもいいんだ。だから時にはって言ったじゃない。
And this kid's very logical for 11 years old. This guy must be the son of Spock.
論理的に証明できることだったらそれを信じるし、証明できないことだったら私はロマンティックな方を選ぶ。
Well, I'm guessing his outfit kind of sort of makes me think of Sherlock Holmes, so that's probably something he's interested in, mystery stuff. So I mean, guess you have to have a really logical attitude to be able to think of such things, deduct and do sorts of things.
そういうこと。
With a blank look on his face, Uni gazed absentmindedly at the feather in his palm. He was utterly still, as if his soul had gone somewhere else and left his body frozen in place.
ココロン、この羽。
Oh yeah, that's true too. His eyes were downcast, only his lips were moving.
いいけど、そんなものもらってどうするの？記念にするんだ。記念？
When I asked that, Uni raised his head.
そう。記念だ。ココロンと出会ったことを忘れないようにするための。
Surprised me how he said those words so casually. It must have been his age. The brutal, straightforward frankness that boys my age just don't possess, or rather that they gradually lose with age. Uni still hasn't lost that gift. Uni had been 7 years older. That short exchange of words would have left me so embarrassed and flustered that I'd have had to stand up from my seat to cool off. Because those simple words would have been so incredibly romantic. Right now, I simply chose to say,
もう、かわいいな、こいつこいつ。
That morning, I hugged Uni and messed up his smooth hair with my hands.
いいよ。死ぬってば、マジで。っていうか、メガネ折れっから。もう折れっから、割れっから。助けて、誰か、スッチー。
He struggled like a cute little woodland creature in my arms. Next thing I know, she'd be calling him George. It's going to say the A and the W, but I'm guessing that means the alpha and the alpha and the wumbo. There's a snowstorm outside. The snowstorm was so strong I had to lean with my hand against the wall to keep standing upright. Use my other hand to shield my eyes from the wind and the snow. It was freezing. I almost strained my eyes trying to stare across the distance. Omega, okay. I guess it does make sense. For some reason I was thinking another symbol for Omega. But I think it was Infinity though, which is a whole nother game in itself. Couldn't see anything. The entire landscape before me had whited out. A pure white world where all depth was lost. Snatched away my sense of perspective, and I suddenly lost my footing and slipped. Clung to the wall with both hands to regain my balance. This clock tower was over 15 meters tall. If I were to fall from that height, I'd be very lucky if I were to get away with just a few broken bones. Glanced downwards. My field of vision was filled with whirling plumes of snow and the needle-like tracks it left as it blew across the roof.
悪くない悪くない天気
This game does seem a little bit more advanced than the others. Like it does zoom outs and that sort of thing, I'm noticing. A little bit more animated too. The words of cynicism I spouted out were quickly carried away with the wind. During the freezing cold, I checked the time. I've never liked having anything attached to my arm, so my wristwatch was hidden away in my pocket. My eyes turned toward the panel of the digital watch. It's almost 4 p.m.
そろそろ
Raised my eyes to the dark restless sky. For an instant, a pale light cuts through the heavens. The sound of the winter thunder shook my body to its core. The weather continued to worsen. There were no signs of the snowstorm easing up at any time soon. That looks like this is going to end brilliantly. Nothing bad's going to happen. Nothing at all.
機長より乗客の皆様にお知らせいたします。当機はこれより乱気流の中を通過いたしますので、乗客の皆様は座席にお戻りになり、シートベルトをご着用ください。なお、この先多少機体の揺れることが予想されますが、飛行には影響ございませんので、どうかご安心ください。
I'm sure that they would totally say that even if it would affect the safety of the flight. They would totally, if it was going to affect the safety of the flight, they were going to be like, hey guys, you might possibly get hurt, so. But you know, cool. So they'd probably still say it won't affect it. Be ready, but it won't affect it. You neither noticed the seatbelt sign nor paid any attention to the captain's announcement. He was next to me, completely immersed in play fighting with a plush polar bear. Yeah, that's what every flight needs. It needs a panic sign and a non-panic sign. You gotta always watch that panic sign to know the appropriate time to freak the freak out. Okay. Fasten the seatbelt for him. Okay, that's nice of her. I was wondering if she was going to do that or be like, hey, kid, seatbelt. Do your seatbelt. Even then, you need to continue to play without paying any attention to me. Thought it'd be alright to leave him as he was. There was something I wanted to do before we landed. Took out a thick file from my bag. Fastened my own seatbelt and laid the file on my lap. The cover read, Awazumi Municipal Hospital Indiscriminate Murder Case File. Okay. We did it for first page. It was January 14th, 2009. This gruesome incident had taken place in the winter of 2009, 2 years ago. The scene of this tragedy was Awazumi Municipal Hospital in Hokkaido. It was a 300-bed facility, well known as the most reliable general hospital in the area. Time was 4 a.m. Powdery snow fluttered down from the pitch-black night sky. Dawn was still a long way off, and the neighborhood was deserted and silent as death. Interesting. Only the whispering of the falling snow, reverberating from somewhere far away, broke this perfect silence. I'm sure that people, around the hospital would love that the neighborhood would be described as silent as death. The figure of a lone girl had appeared at the front gate of the city hospital. She was not holding an umbrella. Powdery snow fell softly onto her shoulders and hair. She was as silent as the world around her. Said she was not holding an umbrella. Is that something people do in snow? From the south, we don't get that much snow, so I don't know if you carry an umbrella when it snows. I never do. It doesn't seem like it's that big of a thing to be snowed on. Not that I actually have an umbrella. Actually, I never bring an umbrella, period. But I would be more likely to bring it when it rains because water is heavy and snow just kind of flutters down. So maybe people who get more snow would actually carry umbrellas. An on-duty nurse noticed a strange figure from the window off the third floor. That's what I have done. In the snows like maybe once a year, sometimes twice, sometimes it don't. So the nurse thought that there might have been an emergency and quickly rushed down toward the main gate. Once she got there, her figure was nowhere to be seen. The hospital was sound asleep. There was no one groaning in agony, no one weeping in despair. Only the faint sounds of calm and tranquil sleep filled the cool hallways. A sharp shriek had violated the silence. That's when it all began. The only voices that could be heard thereafter were agonizing, dying screams. Wait a second, I'm trying to remember my timeline. And then everything lapsed again into silence. It took the doctors and nurses several minutes to notice that something was wrong. The nurse call signs lit up one by one, and then the alarm sounded echoing throughout the hospital. On-duty doctors split up and rushed into the sick rooms. Screams and cries echoed here and there, from room to room, from ward to ward, one after another. Patients rushed out of their rooms barefoot. They ran, jumbled together, trying to escape, making incomprehensible sounds. A sobbing girl, a ranting and raving young man, an old woman who stood stock still, covered in blood, and twinkling of an eye. The hospital fell into a state of panic resembling purgatory. Oh, crowd! Wow, that's rough. The lone doctor opened up the door to one of the hospital rooms. An incredible amount of fresh blood stained the walls and the linoleum floor crimson. A thin mist of spattered blood hung in the air. The sickening, persistent odor made its way to the doctor's nose and settled itself deep in his lungs. The doctor instinctively covered his mouth. Two motionless lumps of flesh lay there, sprawled over the beds. Then his chest brutally torn open. Right half the rib cage was sticking out from the body cavity. I'm so glad I didn't eat very shortly before I played this. The heart was gone. Get your heart out. If it hadn't already been eaten out already. He found it in the corner of the room, squashed flat like... Oh, okay. Never mind. Joke's obsolete. Forget about the whole joke. Like a frog that had been run over by a truck. Interesting, colorful ways to describe stuff. So someone had hurled it at the wall in a fit of rage. I think that's probably what people would do with a... If you're going to throw a heart, an actual human heart at the wall, I think it'll be in a fit of rage. I mean, I guess you could nonchalantly throw it, like... But, I figure if you're going to go through the trouble of ripping it out, you're going to be angry for some reason, and you're going to throw it really angrily. Probably deteriorating the seriousness of this scene. Suddenly, someone grabbed the doctor's leg. It was another male patient. The patient's throat had been slashed open. The weak, rasping sound of air escaping from the wound could be heard. This is not what I was thinking it was. It's actually the opposite of what I was thinking it was. In Never11 there was this, and it's sort of mentioned in Never17, Ever17. There was a person there that and all the patients were actually healed. So this is the opposite of that. Shocked, the doctor knelt down and firmly covered the patient's neck with his hands. The shadow. Those would be the last words he'd ever say. To this day, no one has yet to determine what those words really meant. Yeah, this is a pretty gruesome scene of it. According to the report, the first murder occurred near the entrance to the emergency wards. The victim was a male security guard. I think when commenting over it, I do tend to not take it. I take it seriously, but I don't like overly take it serious. So hopefully that's not annoying. Yeah, hopefully it's not that annoying. He was most likely killed trying to detain the perpetrator who had invaded the hospital. Thereafter, the perpetrator went from one hospital room to the other, indiscriminately slaughtering patients along the way. Patients listed as murdered even included an elementary student. The patients, however, were not the perpetrator's only victims. The doctors and nurses who attempted capture were also stabbed. The final casualty count was 12 dead, 19 wounded. The final criminal act was committed 30 minutes after the first victim was murdered. The perpetrator was cornered by the police on the rooftop and arrested. The murder weapon was described as a large pair of industrial scissors. Okay, to be precise, it was only half of them. Okay. The perpetrator used only one of the blades to commit the murders. The other blade was never found even after a thorough search carried out by the police at the hospital and the perpetrator's home. The motive for the crime remains unknown. While in custody, the perpetrator remained silent throughout the whole of the investigation, never responding to the questions of the police or the public prosecutors. But, however, a single phrase alone was spoken, one which could be considered something of a clue. Well, I guess if it's the only thing that they said, I guess you would count it as a clue. Right before her arrest, she had muttered something as she dropped the bloodstained blade. Yes, that is a clue. I guess? Why did she have this? Those were the details of the Awazumi Municipal Hospital indiscriminate murder case. Is she a detective? Her name was Inubushi Keiko. Her age at the time of the incident, 17. She was 19 now. We can do math, thank you. Even though she was a minor, a crime so brutal would normally result in a severe penalty which she would have no way of avoiding. However, her circumstances differed from the norm. In the end, she was found innocent. Final verdicts of the administration of justice stated that Inubushi Keiko was suffering from DID, dissociative identity disorder, that is to say, multiple personalities. Penal Code, Article 39. Those suffering from insanity will not be prosecuted. Those who are mentally handicapped will receive a lighter sentence. She is currently being held for observation at a certain medical facility, specified psychiatric hospital for isolation and aegis, alias Sophia. What the crap Sophia is? I know a way we can find out what Sophia is. Okay, once you do this, it goes fast. Am I blind? Wait, am I blind? Yeah, I'm blind. I am totally blind. Special or specified psychiatric hospital for isolation and ages. Oh, okay. Since the revision of the Penal Code in 2007, special psychiatric hospitals were constructed in various regions across the country. The purpose of these facilities was to administer proper treatments to those who are suffering from mental illnesses. I do see the second page. And have committed serious crimes so they can be reintegrated into society. Seems like a good place for Hannibal Lecter. The layout of these, maybe it was his daughter or something. The layout of these facilities and the course of treatments there are undisclosed to respect the privacy of the patients. All that's known, all that's known about these facilities are their locations. Sphia, the facility in which Inubushi Keiko is institutionalized, is located on Hokkaido's Aosagi Island. And that opened up another one. Cool. Located approximately 5 kilometers west of Reboot Island, Aosagi Island was uninhabited until the construction of Sphia. It possesses no airport, and the only way to get there is by boat, which departs from Wakanai. My gosh, I said that wrong. Wakanai Harbor. Harbor on an irregular basis. Furthermore, entry to the island without a government issued permit is prohibited. Oh, so there's not a island with a missile institution there that houses a person who killed 12 people and seriously wounded 19. That's her journey's destination. Alright. I think I'm actually going to take a little bit of a break here. So that's the end of episode 1. And I will see you in the next episode.